Alright, he King Fight News back at it with another one. And Canelo Alvarez, I had to give him another one, is speaking out on the criticism from Mexican fans. Basically, because he's not fighting Triple G, and he's fighting a guy no one's ever heard of in Liam Smith. Actually, a junior middleweight that no one's ever heard of called Liam Smith. The brother that no one's ever heard of either. And you know what? That's all well and good. But the whole problem is it's also on pay per view. So not only is Canelo Alvarez saying, you know what, I'm fighting this guy and I'm not fighting Golovkin, I'm not fighting another top middleweight, and you know what? On top of that, what I'm gonna do is I'm going to make you pay for it, or you can come over to Texas and watch me fight, but you're not really gonna see me because you're gonna be in the back row of some fucking huge ass stadium and you're gonna be staring at a monitor. So you might as well just pay for it and watch the fight at home. So it's an insult that this fight's on pay per view, and you know it's HBO pay per view, right? So ultimately, HBO has their own issue because they don't want to put fights on HBO anymore. They just want you to just want you to pay extra for it, which Golden Boy and Canelo's kind of in a tough spot because at the end of the day, he's actually a draw on pay per view, but the numbers aren't going to be great because pay per view boxing is kind of dead right now, to be honest. It truly is. And part of that is because Floyd Mayweather and Manny Pacquiao never lost to anybody in a big pay per view arena, on a big fight match. They never lost to anyone except each other, and they pretty much walked away from the sport at the same time. That's at the end of the day, that's what happened. And when you lose two huge stars, when you lose two mega stars, and you don't create any new ones, you're basically left with without a pay per view market at the end of the day. And there's only two guys that can actually draw on pay per view, other than those two, and that would be Mayweather and Pacquiao, who can draw, and the other two guys are Canelo and Cotto, who basically drew against each other. I think they drew about 900,000, which is solid. But can anyone else draw on pay per view? No. No other fighter has been invested in to the degree that they were given a shot on pay per view. And at the end of the day, that's hurting boxing right now from that standpoint. Now, the other side to this is what PBC is doing, which has given every kind of fan the opportunity to watch boxing for free on NBC, CBS, Fox Sports. They're giving free exposure to boxing, and this has led to events like 4 million people watching Danny Garcia versus Robert Guerrero, like Errol Spence Jr. doing 6 million against Leonard Bundu of all people, who for sure will be known for being knocked out on free TV. So all of that is so great for boxing, and the old timers like HBO, they're just being left in the dust right now, with guys like Al Heyman really taking boxing to the forefront. And this is what Canelo Alvarez had to say. It's unfortunate that they criticize the athletes, uh, talking about the Mexican fans. The athletes are the ones that pretty much put Mexico on the map internationally, and it's a shame that sometimes they get criticized so harshly. I think that if we're all supporting each other, we would be in a better place. If we were all supporting each other, maybe he'd fight the guys that we want him to fight. You know what I mean? I think they give you a lot more support if you fought a guy like Golovkin, or if you fought a guy like Arislani Lara a second time, or even if you fought a guy like Danny Jacobs. Why didn't he get offered the fight? I don't know. Danny Jacobs is right there. He's right there. I'm sure he would have taken a fight like that, or even a solid guy at 154, like a solid guy. Like it boggles the mind uh, in terms of what Canelo's doing right now. But Canelo went on to say there's always going to be critics. They're always there. It's a part of it because of the business. Obviously, there's critics sometimes, and there's bad critics. But the most important thing is that it doesn't phase me. Well, if it doesn't phase you, why did you make this statement in the first place? It doesn't phase me. That's fine. I'm used to it by now. I've gotten to do what's best for my career, and ultimately, in his own way, he's right. It's best for his career to have these soft touches over and over again so he stays protected. And the only problem with that is he might lose his fan base in the process. And he might gain these fake ass Dick Rider fans that will leave him in the second that he loses a fight. So it depends what you want. If you want those ride or die fans, then maybe ultimately it's up to him and his management. As I mentioned before, it's not only him. I'm very sure that Golden Boy Promotions is steering him in this direction because he doesn't have 100% say on who he fights when it comes to the middleweight division. Even fucking Oscar De La Hoya is out there saying, you know what, he's a 154 pounder. He's not ready for middleweight, which is just so fucking delusional. It's so delusional considering what this guy's weight, what he weighs in at. You know how big he fucking is? You know how hard for him it is to make 154 pounds? If it was so easy for him to make 154, why the fuck has he been fighting at 155 for the past four fights? Why the fuck did he fight Lara at 155? Why did he fight Austin Trout at damn near? No, I swear he weighed in I think at 152 in that case. But he fought Angulo at 155. He fought so many people. Anyways, Canelo is pissed at the Mexican fans, and he's letting it be known. He can fight me.